Hi, algebra students. We're going to continue our work with factoring today. It's going to get slightly harder. I'm going to share my presentation. You can see what I'm talking about here. We're going to start with a warm-up, so please grab a piece of paper and give these warm-up problems a try. Pause your video, try them, and then we'll come back. All right, welcome back. Let's see how you did. I'm actually going to skip the first one for now. That one's a little more challenging. These last three are pretty much what we've been doing. So let's see. I'm going to make my two sets of parentheses. I start out with x and x. Factors of 30, this is negative. So I'm looking for factors of 30 whose difference is 1, or factors of 30 that are 1 apart from each other, and that would be 6 and 5. My middle term is positive, so that must mean positive 6 and negative 5. All right, number 3. This time my last term is positive, so I'm looking for two factors of 30 that add to 11. All right, look at, here they are again, 6 and 5. And this time my middle term is positive, my last term is positive, so both of these terms are positive. All right. 81 this time. I've got x and x. Two numbers I can multiply to get 81, 9 and 9. This middle term is negative, so both of these are negative. And the other way you could have written this one is x minus 9 quantity squared. That's one of those special polynomials that we can factor. This one up here is also one of the special ones. If you remember, when there's no middle term, it means that our signs must be opposite. So we have x and x. Two numbers we can multiply to get 81 are 9 and 9. But if I don't have a middle term, it means I'm combining a positive 9 with a negative 9, because that would be 0x. All right, we're going to look at some notes first of all. Please add this to your notes section on page 231 in your journal, what to do when your leading coefficient's not 1. Please write down this example, and then also write down these little notes that I have here written in color, and then we'll talk about this stuff at the bottom. So pause your video, write that down, and come back. All right, so we're trying to factor 2x squared plus 7x plus 3. It says, notice the first term is 2. We should list the factors of 2. All right, our factors of 2 are 1 and 2. On this end, it says, notice the last term is 3. List the factors of 3, 1 and 3. It says, recall that the middle term is formed by combining the outside and inside terms when you multiply two binomials. So we're trying to find the combination of these factors that's going to result in a 7 for the middle term. All right, so I'm going to click on the next slide here, and we're going to continue this. All right, so we said that our factors of 2 were 1 and 2, and our factors of 3 are 1 and 3. All right, so one way that I like to start this, I have a 2x here. I know I have to have a 2 in there somewhere, right? Our other factor is 1, so I'm going to put 1x here. Notice I didn't write the 1, but that's 1. So far I have 2x. All right, my options are to put 1 here and 3 here. All right, so let's give that a try. I'm going to put a 1 here and a 3 here. That term is positive, so that means both of these terms, if that's positive and this is positive, they both have to be positive. Now, we want to make sure that the combination we picked the right order, because we need the inside, which is 1x, plus the outside, which in this case is 2x times 3, 6x. We need that to add up to 7. All right, so we did it right. If we had switched the 3 in the 1 here and tried it, it wouldn't have worked, and we wouldn't have gotten our 7, and you would just need to switch those two numbers, and sometimes that comes up. It says, remember, you can check your work by foiling, right? I could multiply this all out and make sure it works. All right, 2x times x, 2x squared. Outside, 2x times 3, 6x. Inside, x times 1, x. And last 1 times 3 is 3. All right. Let's look at some examples. So this is extra practice problem number 8. Again, for 6, my options are 1 and 6, or 2 and 3. For 4, I could use 1 and 4, or 2 and 2. All right, so I am going to make my parentheses. And I know some students don't like this because they're like, wait, I'm just guessing, but it's okay. We're going to see what works. So I'm just going to pick this one instead of my 1 and 6. I'm going to try my 2x and my 3x. I could be wrong, but I'm just going to try it. Remember, I'm trying to come up with 11. So let's see here. I'm going to try my 4 over here and my 1 here. All right, let's see. That's a 3x, and that's an 8x. Can I get an 11 out of 3 and 8? Yes. All right. Last term is positive, which means both signs either need to be negative or both positive. Since this is negative, both of these terms are negative, which makes this negative, and a negative 3x combined with a negative 8x is in fact an 11x. And I notice the variables in here are k, but we'll just make them x's. Okay, the variable doesn't matter as long as it's consistent. All right, these are a little more challenging today, I agree. All right, let's look at our next one. So 9w, our options are 9 and 1, or 3 and 3. And our only option for 2 is 1 and 2. So that's helpful. All right, so we're going to make our parentheses. I'm just going to try the 9w and the 1w and see what happens. And I'm going to try 1 and 2. So let's see. Inside, I'd have 1w. Outside, I'd have 18w. Okay, can I get a 9 out of that? Nope. But before I give up on 1 and 2 and where they are placed, I'm going to switch places. I'm going to make this 2, and I'm going to make this my 1. All right, so now I'd have 2w, and this would be 9w. Can I get a 9 out of 2 and 9? No. All right, so at this point, I have no choice but to use 1 and 2 on this end. But what that tells me, if my only choices here are 1 and 2, then my problem isn't with the 1 and 2, it's my selection of 9 and 1. So my factors I must use are 3 and 3. So I'm going to start the problem again. And sometimes you'll see these on the first try, and sometimes you won't, and it's okay. So I need a 3w and a 3w to get a 9w squared. I know it has to be 2 and 1 because that's my only choice. All right, and let's see now. 2 times 3 is 6. Oop, w. 3 times 1 is 3. And now, can we get a 9w out of 6w and 3w? Yes. All right, last term positive. This is positive. It must be both positive. So 3w plus 2 times 3w plus 1 is the final factorization of this polynomial. Again, the 3w plus 1 could be the first term. You could put that first. That part of it doesn't matter as long as you have the right signs and the right numbers in front of the variables. All right, this is extra practice problem number 12. This one doesn't look so bad this time. We don't have a whole lot of options for 5, namely 1 and 5. But 9, again, remember we have 1 and 9, or 3 and 3. And we're trying to come up with a middle term of 12 this time. So I'm going to make my parentheses. I like to put the bigger number first, so I'm going to put 5t and then t. And I've got to be thinking, this time my last term is negative. So I know my signs have to be opposite here, right? I'm going to need a positive times a negative. So I've got to see here. Well, let's see. I'm going to try 3 and 3 and see where that gets me. If you look on the inside, you have a 3t. On the outside, you have a 15t. Can I get a 12 out of combining 3 and 15 somehow? Hopefully you're seeing that, yes, you could if this were a negative 3 and a positive 15, because 15 minus 3 will give you 12. So because I need the 3 to be negative, I'm going to put the negative there. My 15 needs to be positive, so my outside is positive. And that's my factorization. All right, your assignment today is a worksheet. You'll have lots of opportunity to practice these. Don't worry, we'll be spending a couple days on them. Good luck. If you have any questions, you can email me. And good luck with the assignment. The link to the worksheet's on Schoology.